Well, hello everybody! Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. How you doing today? Are you having a good time? Are you having a fun time? Freddy's ready to have a good fun time. I didn't even ask, and yet you're already ready. I guess why they call you Ready Freddy. I guess that's why they call you Ready Freddy. I'm stepping ahead of myself. Today's weather, because there's a couple people asking in chat. I did all ska. I was just in a ska mood today. We did Who's Laughing Now by Goldfinger. We did Jabberjaw Running Underwater by Pain, which is a song, someone was like, this sounds familiar. It used to be something they played in between cartoons on Cartoon Network. And then we did Point/Counterpoint by Streetlight Manifesto. Them Arby's boys wheeling up. And yeah, today has been, for those of you who haven't been on the Discord, that's why I remember it. Exactly. But yeah, the last 24 hours have been interesting. There was a big storm blew through my town around 7 o'clock last night. All my power went out. There was a huge outage. The whole neighborhood gone. And I fortunately on my phone there's like a little app where you can report outages. And they'll also give you like, oh, we're working on it. Here's the time frame we expect it to be back up. Solar power, he lived. I did, just barely. Let me check real quick. Does it still say my power's out? Because that was the thing, like, usually they're pretty good. My power company, you know, of all the companies that my life relies on, they're the most reliable. But they had a thing where they're like, it's off, and we don't know what caused it. Like, the cause is still undetermined. And also, we have no idea when it will be back. And according to this, it's still off, because apparently the power went out, like, all across the county. There's like a couple thousand people without power. And I'm very fortunate that it came back today. So I'm here now, thanks to the power of the power company that is rushing around so much fixing things that they don't have time to report that they fixed things. They're like, you understand. But as a result, there was a whole bunch of, like, I'm way behind. Monday is like my big day to do a whole bunch of editing, and I was not able to get it done because there was no power. And then I was like, oh, well, I can go to sleep early and maybe it'll be on tomorrow when I wake up and then I'll be able to do stuff. I like the stream title. Well, thank you, Mari. And thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. So, I guess it's worth mentioning, you know, this is a neat little thing. Because this is, my house is really old. The power goes out several times while I've, since in the 4 years since I've been here, I've lost power several times, and a few of those times have been for like more than a day. For 4 days, oof. Yeah, so we lost power. I've lost power for a while, and I remember when the first time it happened, when it lost for more than a day, I went out and bought a gas-powered generator. And then after having to deal with a gas-powered generator for like 2 blackouts, I was like, there's gotta be a better way. This shit sucks. Like, gas, you can't just like keep gas in your home because of the fumes, but also you can't even just like keep it out in a garage because gas slowly breaks down over time. Gasoline, I should say. And then like, even the thing itself is loud as fuck. It takes a surprising amount of gas. You've also got to have oil. It can't be inside. It can't be like near the house because it puts out too much carbon dioxide. And even with all the like power and noise and gas and everything else associated with it, it's only strong enough to run like a fridge, and a lamp, and a fan. Or what was it? I realized the one time, I was like, I could run my computer on it and my camera, so I could technically stream just off the generator, except without any air conditioning, especially in the summer. The computer, this room gets so hot that everything starts to overheat. I was part of the Great Northern Blackout of '03. How long did that one last? Days. Brutal. Yeah, so I said there has to be a better way, and I did find a better way, I believe. There. Behold, the EcoFlow, a nice electric battery that you can keep in your house and you can plug things into. It's not as powerful as the big generators, but that baby will run a fridge for like 24, 48 hours on like a charge. And charging it up, instead of gas, you just plug it into the wall for 2 hours and it fills up completely. It also came with solar panels. So in the case of like, if the power goes out for more than a few days and you can't charge it up again, you can put it out in the sun. Granted, it takes like 6 hours for it to charge up if you use solar. But it's nice to have the option. And you can also charge it using your car if you've got the little 12 volt like cigarette lighter thing that you plug in. Check the outage usage in case it makes damage to your house. I'm not sure what, how would I check that? Nearly a month, oof. The battery manual? I mean, the manual says to plug it into the wall. What was the battery called? It's EcoFlow is the company. I forget the exact brand. One second, I have it, they have like a little app thing. They're like, you could run it through your phone if you have Wi-Fi. And I'm like, if I have Wi-Fi, I wouldn't need. Yeah, this is the Delta 2, it's called. The Delta 2 from EcoFlow. I was without light for like 5 months, yeah. So this thing's really good. The unfortunate thing is it has one kind of big flaw, right? Which is that you're not supposed to keep it full up on a charge for more than like a month. If a month goes by, you're supposed to drain it and then recharge it. Stocking up on candles. Well, I guess while I'm at it, we're talking about stuff for blackouts. Where did I put that thing? So, the first year I moved in, I bought one of these on Amazon. Not really knowing much about it. Let's see how this looks on camera. Yeah, I'm not going to turn all the lights out, but trust me, this thing is bright as fuck. This thing will light up a whole ass room. And it's like little LEDs that are like reflected off of some glass. That's pretty bright. It is incredibly bright. What kind of batteries does this take? 3 AAA, no, AAAs? No, 3 AA batteries. I bought this in 2020. I have used it in every blackout. Oftentimes, like in the case of yesterday, I opened this when the blackout started and left it on my living room table and did not close it the entire night. I have done that multiple times, and I have not had to change the batteries in this yet. If you are worried, like, candles are good because you can always light them, but candles will run out. This thing and, like, some AA batteries will last you, like, weeks. I'm pretty sure you could keep this going for, like, days and days and days and never worry about running out of batteries. It is incredibly efficient. One of the best purchases I've made. Can't recommend it enough. But yeah, as for the big battery, the EcoFlow. So again, I was saying one of the problems with it, you're not supposed to leave a charge on it for more than a month. You're supposed to eventually, like, drain it and then refill it again. What's this called again? The name on it says Alexity or Atexity. Atexity. It's like electricity, but weird. Like someone had a stroke halfway through. You should do a big stream that's just seeing how long it takes to drain the lantern. I just replaced Critter. Sorry, Critter. You're a lantern now. We'll just keep this in the back the whole time. See if it goes the whole stream. But, no, so you gotta drain the battery. And yesterday, I was in the process of doing that. I had my laptop I had both my laptops plugged into the, I had plugged them in the previous day because I didn't know it was supposed to storm as hard as it was. And, so when the power went out, I only had like a 20% charge. And I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate. Watching it drain would be like paint drying game, yeah. Just sit here and watch it drain for like days at a time. But, yeah, so it only had like 20% juice. And that's a special problem for me because, as I've said before, I have a sleep apnea. Which, if you don't know, is like a, I guess condition is the word for it. It's not really like an illness. But it's a condition you can get where you don't breathe properly while you're sleeping. I have to use what's called a CPAP machine. That, like, it's like a little nose thing that's hooked up to a machine. And it, like, whenever I breathe in, it, like, forces more air in. Because otherwise I won't breathe deeply enough and I won't actually, like, be able to go all the way asleep. You just stop breathing sometimes. Yeah, it's actually not too bad unless the power goes out. Because then it's like, I need electricity to sleep. And I was like, well, that's fine, you know. Most of the time the power comes on in a few hours, and if nothing else, I can charge this in my car. And then, you know, as the time went on, I found out two things. One, the power didn't come on last night. But also, when I went out to charge it in my car, I'm like, okay, it's going to have to suck because I have to basically just sit in my car. And it will drain the battery entirely if I just sit there. So I do have to kind of drive around. But I'm like, it only takes 2 hours to charge in the thing, and I don't need a full charge. If I can get to like 50%, that'll last the entire night. At least if all I do is plug in the sleep apnea machine, that should be fine. And then I found out that the little like port on your car is hard capped at like 100-watt output. And at that output, it would take 9.5 hours to charge the entire battery. So even just charging it to halfway would be like 4 hours. And it was already like after midnight when I decided to do this. Hardleg driving in circles for 9 hours. I drove to a couple different places. I went down to the gas station early in the morning and got some like fresh donuts, which I still have, although they got kind of crushed. Well, I went and like hung out in the parking lot of like a 24-hour gym for a little bit. I did some work on The Legend of Lefty on my laptop while it still had a little bit of power left. And then when I got home and I got it to like 40%. And I was like, that's gonna have to be good enough. And then I forgot that I hadn't plugged in I was like, oh yeah, the fridge. I was like, fridges are usually good for like 24 hours if you don't open them, right? And it's more like 4 hours. And I'm like, shit, it's already been 6 hours. So before I could go to sleep, I'm like, well, I'll plug the fridge in for like an hour and let it get cold again. And hopefully my stuff won't, what kind of car do you drive? It's like a Ford Fiesta or something, I think. It's like nothing special. It's like a used car. But I plugged it in for an hour, and then I finally got to go to sleep. And it did last the whole night, but I woke up with like 1%. Fortunately, when I woke up, I woke up and the power still wasn't on, and I was like, shit. And I looked at my phone, and it was like, still no idea when it's going to be ready. And I'm like, shit. And then I walked out into my living room, and the light was on. And I was like, what? And I checked my phone again. They're like, we still don't know when your power will be back on. We're sorry that it's not on. And I'm like, but it is on. So it came on at some time in the morning, but because I had so much stuff turned on, I didn't even notice. 11 Soup, hello. First live stream. Yippee, welcome. Yeah, I'm just talking about everything that happened last night. Catching people up. The battery won't drain if the car is on. The alternator takes over and runs the car. But I'm using the power from it to charge like something else. Like the alternator does charge it, but the alternator doesn't, like, it's very minimal rotations if you're just idling there. It's basically, I looked this up last night because I was like, can I just idle here? And they're like, if you idle there for like an hour and don't drive at all and have something that's like draining the battery, like the air conditioning on really high, or you have, again, something plugged in that's draining a whole lot, then you could, the next time you start the car, the battery could be dead. And then you'd have to jump it. And it's like, I don't want to have to jump it. Which is worth no electricity or no water. I've never had to deal with no water for an extended period of time. Fortunately, so one of the benefits? One of the interesting quirks of having sleep apnea, in order to run the CPAP machine, you need distilled water, which comes in these big, like milk jugs. But they're just like water. And then afterwards, after I empty them out, I was like, well, it seems a waste to just throw these away. And I did recently get like a water filter because I've been worried about the quality of my water, because I got a thing in the mail that's like, yeah, we can't confirm or deny if the pipes leading up to your house have lead, so maybe test your water. Very specifically distilled, yeah. You gotta have distilled water, otherwise it, like, calcium deposits build up. Do you clean your CPAP out often? Every week. Every Monday. That's part of my Monday schedule, is clean the CPAP. But, so I have these jugs left over, and I have, filtered water. And so, for the last year, I've just been filling up jugs of water and labeling them and putting them in my basement. I have a big shelf down there that's just full of, like, how many would I have now? 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 24? I have 24 2-liter jugs of filtered water. So if the water ever goes out, I think I'm set for like a few days at least. Are we going to learn about hamburgers today? No. Arby's doesn't even have hamburgers. They have the meeps, but not those kind of meeps. Or meats. Who's texting me now? Okay. When working on your story, how did you plan it, and what is your advice to new writers? I'll get to that in a second. Let me finish this, because I've been going on for... So, all of this was just to say, I'm way behind on work, because last night the power went out and I couldn't do a lot of editing that I normally do. And then this morning, when I woke up, I wanted to, like, oh, I can get some work done before stream. Except because my fridge had only been plugged in for a little bit, a lot of the stuff in it was either bad or threatening to go bad. And so I was like, well, I had planned to eat something much, much lighter, like something that was easier to cook, but I had like chicken breasts that were left over, and I'm like, if I don't eat them today, and they've been in the temperature danger zone, it's only going to get worse with time. So I'm like, I have to cook these today, and I have eggs in there, and the eggs still seemed fine. So I was like, fuck it, I'll make some fried chicken. So I ended up making fried chicken from scratch, which takes like about 2 hours. Wasn't Arby's a hamburger restaurant? No. You want to see what Arby's has? Let me see if I can... Let's look at their official website, shall we? Window capture. Quarter pound barbecue. This is a pulled pork sandwich. So it's like a bunch of deli meats on a bun, as if it's a burger, but they don't have burger. They've got roast beef. Oh wait, they do have burgers. When did they get burgers? I didn't know they had burgers. Every other time I've been there before, they haven't had burgers. Their burgers look unnatural. You ever seen the Good Burger movie and they had like their competitor that was like Mondo Burger and they like used illegal chemicals to make the meat bigger? That's what this reminds me of. It's a sad, like even when they did all the, like, this is a promotional photo and it still doesn't look good. What the heck is it? Meat and 3 box. Choice of a crispy chicken or a ham and Swiss sandwich with a small fry and a 2-piece mozzarella stick and a peach cobbler roll. They're like frozen Wagyu burgers. Huh. Kind of like Subway. No, Subway makes Subway sandwiches. These make burgers just without burger. And it's like peach cobbler. Who would want a peach cobbler? It's just like, it's like they're not genetically, they're like specifically designed to be unappealing to me. Yeah, it's just a big pile of roast beef on a bun. You want a big pile of roast beef on a bun? There you go. The worst thing is their sides, right? Wait, they have crinkle fries now. For the longest time, all they had was curly fries, and I hate curly fries. Especially, I've heard even if you like curly fries, their curly fries are not good. A potato cake. Isn't that just a hash brown? Is this not a hash brown? And they have mozzarella sticks. Jamocha shake. Yeah. To be fair, crinkle fries are like, unless you're Raising Cane's, these are the worst style of fries. Is hash brown a copyrighted name? I don't think so. Legally indistinct from hash browns, yeah. So, not looking very good. But I've said before, I think instead of, like, what was it? I could add more junk to my junk drawer for this month by buying some like Transformers or like a buzzsaw or something like that to make for the Arby's. Or to celebrate Arby's, I could get Arby's every stream, which would probably cost more, but at least it wouldn't fill my house up with junk and it would be funny. I was like, I'll give them a chance, you know? I will have Arby's 6 times. I'll get it like a DoorDash or whatever. Which, by the way, you know, if you would like to help support me DoorDashing Arby's and ensuring that I can leave these people a big tip for the work that they do, consider donating to the stream. Consider subscribing. Maybe just once. You definitely have to try. Yeah. Arby's twice a week for 3. Yeah. We'll have to see how it turns out. I'll try the burger. I'll try the chicken. I'll try the potato cakes. Every stream, you get a bigger roast beef sandwich. I hate roast beef. I am not getting roast beef. What's the nearest Arby's to me, real quick? There's a lot of stuff by me, but I'm not sure if there's an Arby's. There is. It's 11 minutes away. There's another one that's 10 minutes away. So it's not that far away. There's 2 of them that are fairly close. The thing is, right, like, I could run down... I'm trying to think. You're like, what would give them the best chance? Like, I could run down there, grab the food right before stream, get back here, start the stream, let it sit for 10 minutes while the stream is, like, getting started up, and then spend the first few minutes of stream eating Arby's. Or I could order it, and have it arrive during the stream. Don't you make your own beef and cheese sandwiches? I do, but it's not roast beef. Yes to both. Have you seen that Arby's YouTube poop? I feel like I have. Okay, we're going to get started here in a moment, but someone did have another question about art and Lefty, and I'll take any moment to talk about my novel. When working on your story, how did you plan it, and what is your advice for new writers? So my biggest advice for new writers is to read and write a lot. Read a whole bunch of books. You should be reading like a new book every month at least. Also, just start writing like short stories. If you're not ready to write your novel yet, write something else. Just the more practice you can get in, the more like exposure you have to good writing, the better you will be. Good writing and bad writing. It pays to like to read books that are just awful and then be able to sit down and identify what about them is awful so you can avoid that. As for how I planned it out, what was it? They talk about in writing, there's like 2 styles. There's planners and pantsers, which are like terrible names. Like planners, like obvious. You outline everything first and then you go in. A pantser is someone who flies by the seat of their pants. They sit down and they just start writing. I am much more of a planner. Specifically, the style I do is, at least with The Legend of Lefty, right, is I sat down and I wrote, like, here is the start of the story. Here's where the characters need to be at the start. And here's the ending. You just have those 2 points. This is what I want to get to. And specifically with the ending, your ending should have... The ending defines a story. So, like, the end of your story should be, like, the message of your story. It should be, like, the point of your story. I say message, but, like, maybe the point of your story is just to have a really cool fight scene, and if so, that should be at the end of the story. And then your beginning should be as close to the end as you can get to make the final part thematically relevant. Spectre, thank you for the Prime hype. So I start with those 2 points, and then the thing that I do is I just like accordion expand it. I don't know the exact word for it, but it's like, okay, I know where I need him to start, or what was it? I know where I need him to end up. This is where the characters have to end up because that's the point of the story. And then from there I could be like, okay, so in order for that to hit hard, they need to start in this position so that when they change to get here, it's like, oh, this was a naturally occurring thing. Oh, this makes sense that they went from here to here. And then once I have those two, it's like, okay, so what steps do they need to have in between? And I just make like bullet points. Where like, for instance, in the case of The Legend of Lefty, part of Lefty's story has to do with the fact that he gets influenced by a whole lot of different ideas and a whole lot of different philosophies to end up where he is. And so I knew that I wanted him to like, at some point he has to go under the wing of like someone who's very conservative, someone who has very old school ideas. And then also he has to be under the wing of someone who's very progressive, who has like kind of the opposite ideas. And I picked like 4 or 5 different ideas that I was like, at some point he needs to either live with or live under this kind of situation so that everything can add together by the end. And so I knew like, okay, one of the core things, if you've read Legend of Lefty, at least what there is so far, like Titus Tiberius and the whole arc with him, like working under this blacksmith, was like a point I just put in. Titus didn't even have a name then, but I just put, he has to hang out with a guy who's like this. Or hanging out with the Deepins in their society. Again, it was just like, there has to be a society that's like this, and he hangs out with it. And then you start connecting the points. How does he get from here to here? What would be the most interesting way to do it? Is there something thematic I can have happen? And just slowly you start, you take the 2 ideas, you pull them apart, and you add like 3 points between it. And then between each of those points, you pull it apart and you add 3 more points. And you keep every outline, you expand it, until eventually what you have is like a 100-page document that is just like every plot point, and then those plot points just become chapters. So then when you go in to write each chapter, you have a list of like, okay, in this chapter, I need to get him from here to here. This thing needs to happen. And sometimes as you're writing it, it turns out like, oh, this plot point isn't big enough, so you just combine it with the next one and you make a bigger chapter. Or, oh, this is happening too fast, I need to expand this chapter out. I like to come up with the starts, endings, major key points. I'm too lazy to come up with the connecting tissue. You have to fill in the jank. I like pantsing some ideas now and plan. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too, is like there's always going to be some level of flying by the seat of your pants. Because at the end of the day, you do just have to like, you can only do so much planning before you just sit down and have to start writing the dang thing. And even if one of the things about pantsing, like there's a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, you just write down as you go and you make it up as you go and then you're done. And even the people who work like that, like Stephen King is very famous for just like not having any idea where his stories will go, just like letting them take him. But he's like, yeah, I'll sit down and over the course of like 3 days, I'll write like a whole ass novel, but it'll be dog shit. It'll be terrible. You then have to do the work of going back and basically just starting from the beginning and being like, okay, so now that I know where this is going to end up, I need to change up this, I need to do that. And especially when you're writing like in the heat of the moment, you're just getting the ideas on paper. So like you may have the general vibe of what you're going to do, but the sentence structure doesn't flow well, you use the same word over and over again, yada yada. So you end up, in the case of like Stephen King, he's like, most of my novels are like 20 drafts. They're like, you go through and you rewrite it over and over again, and every time you go through, you fix some things until it gets good enough. Until you're fine enough at what you have. And you still have to do that even if you plan, you just don't have to do it as much. Like the Legend of Lefty that you see that gets the audiobook recording is essentially the 4th draft. Like, I wrote it all in the course of a year, then I set it aside, I went back, or what was it? I wrote it all, but the way I write it, in order to help keep things fresh in my mind, how I usually do it is like, say I'm on chapter like 30, I'll write chapter 30, I'll go through, and then the next day when I sit down to write, I'll go back to 29, and I'll go through 29 to make sure that, like, now that 30 is fresh in my mind, does it flow into what I'm doing? And so I'll rewrite and go through chapter 29. And then the next time I write, I'll do 31, and I'll expand from there. And then the next time I'll go back to 30 and double check that. That way, not only are you making sure that everything kind of flows into the next, but you're also, I feel like in order to do a proper draft, to do a proper edit, you need time. Because if you look at something right after you've written it, of course you're going to like it, you just wrote it. But you need to account for the fact that, like, some days you'll be in a different mood, you'll be in a different headspace. It helps to, like, have 2 or 3 days in between writing something and going back to it so that you can see it with, like, fresh eyes. Will there be more Halloween book reviews with MBT? If we can find an especially good book, but the problem we came up to with that was that MBT was like, I feel like all the old traditional, like, horror stories from the past have been done to death. I don't want to read something from, like, 1910 or even 1950. I want to read something from, like, the last 10 years. I want to read some new horror stories. Sadly, people aren't making good horror stories. Or if they are, they haven't, like, filtered down into the consciousness where we can find them. Like, we did 2 or 3 of them, and they just aren't as good as something like Stephen King or Lovecraft. What if we submit our own stories? I mean, that might be fine, but I'd have to ask MBT if he's open to it, and he's a dad now, so I don't know. I'm doing world building for D&D, and it's basically the same. Make sure nothing is accidentally racist, yeah. The creepypastas. Yeah, we had considered, like, I was like, what if we read, like, a bunch of SCPs? And he's like, there are people who have done that over and over again. I was like, Goosebumps? And he's like, those are literal children's books. Like, other than that, there's, like, I can't remember the name of it. It's like ergodic literature. One second. This is going to bother me unless I figure it out. House of Leaves? No, we already did House of Leaves. We did House of Leaves twice on my channel. Once with my friends and once with a bunch of my, and once with MBT. Scorch Atlas, that's what it's called. I kept wanting to say Cloud Atlas, but that's not it. Yeah, I hear Scorch Atlas is supposed to be really, really good, but it's also just like a series of weird nightmares put to, like, there's not like an overarching plot. It's just like surrealist nightmare imagery put to book. It's like there's that, and then there's, like, Clown in a Cornfield. Which was essentially made just to appeal to book talk. And doesn't seem to have much substance to it. Most of the scary stuff these days is indie video media, yeah. Book talk, yeah. I don't want to be like it's ruined literature, because what's ruined literature is the illiteracy crisis, where like most people don't know how to read now, unfortunately. But book talk being like, oh, we're the smart people, we're helping people to read, and then it's nothing but like what's it called? It's like YA novels that are all about like people being sorted into houses or groups that have superpowers, and there's love triangles, and the vast majority of people who talk about it don't actually read the book. They just like to speculate on like the ideas behind it. It's all smut. There's some, yeah. The corniest community, YA, young adult, yeah, young dystopian novels. I've got more than 2 booktubers that I watch, where they've been reviewing Lightlark, which is like the big book talk thing, and that just seems like the most inane dribble I've ever heard of. It's just like, on the world of Lightlark, there are 6 islands, each with their own distinct thing, and the islands are perpetually at war, full of immortal beings, but one woman has all the powers of all the islands, and she's going to shake up the status quo, because there's a good king and a bad king, and they're both in love with her, and she must choose which she's going to go with. The Island of Ata. Just say you want to rip off Avatar. No, it's nothing like Avatar. It's more like Twilight. It's some combination of like Twilight. I mean, what was it? It's not as. I mean, one of the criticisms I could say of Avatar is like it's just the 4 elements, which I've seen like a million billion times. Lightlark at least isn't those 4 elements. But it's just like, I've picked 4 superpowers, I picked 6 superpowers from a hat, and those are the things. It's just an anime plot, but Western. I wonder, one second, is there a Lightlark wiki? Of course there is. It has 5... Okay, Lightlark is a landmass consisting of the mainland and 5 islands connected by bridges. Wild Island, Moon Island, Sun Island, Sky Island, and Star Island. Only the most creative of names! And so, like, if you're from Wild Island, you're a wildling. And wildlings have the ability to, like, grow plants, and they have control over plants. And if you're from the Moon Island, you're a moonling, and they have control over water because the moon controls the water. And the skylings can control the wind, presumably? No, they can control the weather. And they used to be able to fly, but now they cannot fly. Is star like gravity or light? I assume it's like making illusions. Let me look this up real quick. Starlings possess the ability to harness the energy of the stars and telekinesis. Yeah, they each have a power, but they also each have a curse. So, like, the wildlings can control plants or whatever, but their curse is that they must eat human hearts to survive. And also, they must kill, they are destined to kill whoever they fall in love with. Which makes it feel like it would be hard to build any kind of society. But of course, the main character is a wildling. So, like, she must choose which of the hunky boys she likes, but knowing that because of her curse, she is destined to kill whoever she loves. Naturally evil druids, yeah. And this is the one thing that sounds kind of interesting. So the Skylings can fly, and they have control of the weather, but their curse is that they lost the ability to fly, which seems much easier than, you know, being able to like having to eat human hearts to survive. But they make a point of, like, it's a really bad curse to them because their entire island was set up assuming that people could fly, and so for the last 25 years, they've had to rebuild their entire infrastructure to make do for the fact that they can no longer fly. And a lot of their land, like, isn't suitable for, like, growing food. They were doing it on, like, a series of flying islands that were above the clouds and shit. I was like, that's some interesting world building. You know, if you had a bunch of people where they built their society around flying and then suddenly they couldn't, how would they adapt? Too bad the story doesn't focus on that. What if you love everyone equally? Will you just eat everyone? Hard to say. It's difficult to have a truly unique idea, but the portrayal is important. Yeah. What was it? Again, there's, you know, the main girl who's super special and everyone loves her, and the two kings. There's like the king of the light larks or whatever, who's like the brave and noble king. His name is Oro, and then there's the king of like the moon kingdom, who's dark and brooding, and his name is literally Grim. His name is just Grim. Oreo, yeah. Is it Mary Sue and girl boss levels of power? I mean, she's not like a girl boss because it's like, it's more like the thing of like, she's constantly facing setbacks that like should kill people. She's constantly like, oh, well, she's getting injured to the point that, like, anyone else would, like, either die or just go insane from the amount of pain. But then she gets, like, healed or whatever. And she's just like, you don't understand. I had the skin flayed from my body, and I'm still here standing. Grim with 2 M's? Or I think it's just Grim with 1 M. I think his name is just Grim. Laura, yeah, basically the new Laura Croft. Where it's just like bad things keep happening to her and she just keeps standing up, and it's like, isn't she so strong? It's like, I guess, I don't know, these seem really contrived. Yeah, here we go. They just came out with a new book. It's like 3.5, they're calling it. Because it's like in between. Can I drag this over here? No. Let me look at window capture. Yeah, there we go. Oro and... It's a double novel, Oro and Grim. One half is Oro's story and one half is Grim's story. And just look at that fucking art! Hunky, noble anime boy and brooding, dark-haired man. #1 New York Times bestseller. Literally just gold in Spanish. Oh, is that? Well, at least, you know, at least that's a little better. The portraits are, yeah, the art is pretty good. They got good art because she's got like $1 million now. Is that Anakin? Kind of. This looks like Pokemon. Choose your version? Yeah. Okay. Arby beta. What kind of books would I recommend? I mean, my favorite story of all time, my favorite book series is still Wheel of Time. I would recommend Wheel of Time. That shit's great. I'm going through Stormlight Archive now. And I will say, Stormlight Archive, I've been a little disappointed because it seems to be falling more into that kind of stuff. but like it's doing it with way more maturity and way more class than anything like a YA novel could do. You know, like if you like the idea of superpowered people that are divided into like 10 clans, like fighting a big epic war, go for Stormlight Archive. Anything Brandon Sanderson is like just like above the bar of quality. Read Wheel of Time and don't watch it. Yeah, unfortunately the show is like terrible. If you're worried about Stormlight, wait until book 4. I'm on book 4 now. Is it YA? No. Stormlight Archive is way too... Let me go get a book for you real quick. Here is Stormlight Archive, book number 4, which I've just begun, which is a beefy son of a bitch. Even with like this like bigger sized one, like the text isn't that large or anything. It's just it's a thick chunky boy. This is a man's novel. This is 1,200 pages. I dislike how they changed the way they handle her character. Who, Shalon? Yeah, and this art, it's still a little like... It's got a thing to it, but also like... There's a little... Again, it's just more classy, right? It doesn't look like you're a shonen protagonist. It looks like something more ancient. It's like Goblet of Fire thick. Yeah, these, I believe these are like the 10 heralds. You can't see her because she's green. Who are like, each of the heralds stands for one of the like 10 superpowered alliances, and they each have their own ideals and their own power. Also, check out that fucking map, baby! Ha ha ha! He's got like actual shit thought through. And this, he does a lot of like, let me see if I can find something that like isn't spoilers necessarily. He's got like artists who do images like in between some of the chapters. And it's usually like done in universe, where they're like, it's like, what would they be called? I want to say intellectuals, but that's not the word. I guess like scientists, but this is like medieval fantasy stuff. But they're like Shalon's sketchbook, yeah. Or like this, where it's like, they're showing like these what would they be called? Diagrams, sketches, not sketches. But like this is like someone's scientific notes. Although they're writing out in the Dawn Chant manuscript. Yeah, this is like an ancient like explainer text that's kind of like showing a scientific thing that they're talking about. Scholars, thank you. Yeah. They're like scholarly notes where it's like you see something and you hear them talk about it in like regular terms, and then you see like a scholarly diagram that would appear in like a reference book where they're like trying to explain this to other scholars. And this does the thing of like, you know, there's a whole bunch of different like nations, and each nation is specific, but also they actually feel like fleshed out. They actually have some kind of like history and culture to the point of like different languages and everything. And you don't have to like learn any of the other languages, but you do get a sense of like, if these two people that are from different islands that are separate are talking to each other, and they're like having trouble communicating because of course they would. They don't speak exactly the same language. They've got like a dialect to it. Dang airsick lowlanders. They don't know shit. Another core memory. Dragonologies. I'm unfamiliar with that one. Anyway. Sorry, we spent an hour just chatting about all sorts of stuff. Let me go ahead. Today we're going to learn Arby. Fuck. The search function doesn't work very well for Arby. Well, they're all machines, right? I recommend the Very Hungry Caterpillar. Do they all share the same attribute? How much backseating is too much for this? I mean, the first thing we're going to do is the same thing I do on Let's Learn. I'm just going to read all the cards and see if I can figure out what it is. And then we're going to watch a bunch of deck profiles. And then once I get to actually building, if you want to like backseat, if there's something I don't understand, but let me go through my process first. Although in this case, I kind of need to know what every RB card is because I can't find them. Type R.B, I did. Oh, capitals? Yeah, that doesn't help. Does it support using quotes? I don't think so. Never mind. It does. Are they all earth? No, that's dark. That's fire. Some of them are earth. This game supports quotes technology. Okay. So, standard Let's Learn rules. First things first, do they have a field spell? They do. Funk Doc. We about to get funky with it. When this card is activated, add an RB from your deck to your hand. That's a 3 of. Like, is this the only card that mentions funk? No. There's Abyss Actor, Funky Comedian. The two funks in here. Okay. So when this card is activated, add an RB from your deck to your hand. Each time a monster your opponent controls is destroyed, gain 500 life points. Alright. If a face-up RB leaves the field by card effect, except during the damage step, special summon an RB from your deck. You can use each effect once per turn. Alright, I seem to remember the RBs like destroy themselves, so leave by card effect means they destroy themselves, and if you have the field spell, you get something else. It's also a bit of protection. But it's only once per turn. They all blow themselves up. Okay. So we know the field spell. Next we look for the boss monsters. I think Brute Blues is the boss, because I've seen more of that. 2+ machines. This is a Link 3? Okay, so you need 3 machines on the field. Gains the following effects while it points to an RB monster. Gains the total attack of all the RBs it points to. Can attack twice. Can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. During your main phase, search an RB. Huh. So we got funk and we got blues. Is RB secretly a musical deck? Do you do the intro? No, this is not going to actually be like a Let's Learn that I release on the channel. But the Let's Learn process that I do is based off what I actually do when I learn a deck, so we're just kind of going through it. Yeah, so it's like, we probably want 2 of those, maybe even 3, depends. It seems like it's like the boss monster, so you'd want a backup. Shepherd's Crook, another Link 3. 2 monsters, including an Arby, so a little bit more limited. Gains 500 for every monster you control except this card. So if it has 2 things pointing to it, it'll be 2,500. Use each of these effects once per turn. During your main phase, set an RB trap. During your opponent's main phase, target 3 level 3 or higher RBs in your graveyard. Place 2 on the bottom of your deck, and if you do, special summon the 3rd. Okay. Recycles. What a crook of shit. I'll put that at 2 as well. 2 at most. If rhythm beats is about music, is that what RB stands for? I thought it was robot battles. Rebel bots. I think 3 for this guy. Yeah, we'll see. Volcan. I just noticed he's got a little Volcan, or Valcan. The other ones aren't made by them. They don't have the logo. 2 machines. Yeah, this is, I remember the thing of like, any 2 machines get you started, so I think this is your main starter. If this is Link summoned, add an RB spell from your deck to your hand. Discard in the extra monster zone, you could special summon an RB from your hand or graveyard. Then you can move this card to a main monster zone. Also, you can add summon from the extra deck except for machines with 1,500 or less. Gotcha. So that's probably like a 3 of, right? Sponsored by Valcan Booster. Yeah, so you do this. If you make it with an RB monster, then you summon one of those back and then move this to the main monster zone, so then you have room for Brute Blues. Although having this in the main monster zone doesn't do much of anything. But I guess then you can make Shepherd's Crook underneath. And then this guy goes up to 3,000 at least. And unlike Crusadia, this doesn't say the monsters it points to can't attack. And then this searches any spell, so we can get Funk Doc, but let's go ahead and read these other spells here real quick, starting with Stage Landing. Special summon an RB from your deck or extra deck with a different name from the cards you control. That's a 3 of. So who even needs 2? You just summon that. No, it has to be Link summoned. You could still do the second effect to ban it, get something back, and move it. Oh, but you do just get Shepherd's Crook. A lot easier. Okay, summon one with a different name. If an RB you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, banish this instead. You cannot summon from the extra deck except for machines with 1,500 or less. Gotcha. And then a continuous. When this card is activated, target a level 3 or higher RB in your graveyard, summon it. Target any number of RBs you control, gain life point equal to their combined original attack, and if you do, return them to the hand or extra deck. Then you can special summon an RB from your hand. You can use this effect once per turn. You can only activate 1 per turn. Okay, so this is like a 1 of at most. It is a Monster Reborn. It is a searchable Monster Reborn because it's the spell. And it can get something back and then bring it back, gain some life points. So level 3 or higher. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So everything. So everything? Why not just say an RB with a level? It's to you know, just in case, because this is a TCG deck. So they're trying to stop the OCG team. Future level 2, yeah. It gives them some design space. If they want to have an absolutely overpowered effect but don't want you to be able to revive it, they can just make it level 2. Triggers the field spell. Oh yeah, it's leaves the field. Gotcha. So add it back to your hand, then the field spell summons one from deck. Okay, with all these, considering that they're probably going to be used as material or be underneath it, I'm going to start with the lowest one first to see if we've got starters, because we've only got 2 that are level 4 or lower. If you control no face-up monsters, or the only monsters you control are RBs, you can special summon this from your hand. You can only do this once per turn. During the main phase, if this card is linked to an RB monster, quick effect, pay 500, target a monster your opponent controls, destroy both that monster and this card. Gotcha, so you fire the hand off. This explodes, and then the monster explodes. And you take 500 because that's its attack. And then if you've got the field spell, you get another one. It is a free summon. So, I don't know. Maybe a 3 of? We'll see. Cutter! If you control no monsters, or the only monsters you control are RB, you could special summon this from your hand. Okay, do they all do that? If you control no monsters, you can special summon this. If this card is normal, special summoned. Huh. If this card is normal or special summoned. If you control no face-up monsters, or the only RBs, you could special summon this from your hand. Okay. So at least 3 of them, 4 of them are special summons, and these 2 are not. Kind of weird. You can only summon once per turn this way. When your opponent's spell trap card or effect is activated, and this card is linked to an RB, you can pay 700, destroy this card, and if you do, negate that effect. Okay, so this cuts through spell traps. This drills through monsters. Although, again, it's, you know, for a modern archetype, not having these also search something on summon means you're going to be way behind the power curve. These should either search something on summon, or they should be able to special summon themselves from the hand during the opponent's turn. So we can keep attaching stuff to brute blues. The summon should have been a quick effect. Foul Can Rockets. So same summoning conditions. You can only special summon once per turn this way. If this card is linked to an RB, pay 1,000. Target 2 cards your opponent controls, destroy them. Also this card. If you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each one destroyed. So this just seems like this, but better in every way, right? Because this only destroys monsters, while this destroys 2 cards. I guess it costs more life points, but it also has higher attack. But it's not a quick effect. Oh. Gotcha. I was a little confused there for a second. Okay, so that's probably a 1 of. And then I think at least for now, I'm going to put these at 3 just so like we have all the extension. Maybe this goes at more than 1. Maybe this is like a 2 of just because it's a free extender. Although we don't know what the third one does. Let's look at the other special summon one. Ugh, pardon me. Okay, so it's got the standard summoning. When an attack is declared involving an opponent's monster, and brute blue specifically, that points to this card. Okay, brute blue, this has to be underneath brute blues. Pay 1,500, destroy all cards your opponent controls and this card. Ah, a board wipe. Only during the attack, but it is a board wipe. both rockets are not quick effects. I mean, this is kind of a quick effect. It's not a quick effect in that it's literally not a quick effect. You can't activate it whenever you want during the opponent's turn, but you can activate it during the opponent's turn if they attack you. Why they would attack you, I don't know. Because they have to specifically attack this. Yeah, so this feels more like a board breaker. It's a board breaker unless you're below platinum and people are stupid. Okay, and then our other two. These ones don't special summon each other. Amada. It's a different company. That's why it doesn't special summon itself. If this card is summoned, send an Arby from your deck to the graveyard. During your opponent's main phase, if this card is linked to an Arby monster, quick effect, pay 1,400, target a monster your opponent controls, destroy this card, and if you do, take control of that monster and destroy it during the end phase. Get over here! You run Battle Mania. If I run Battle Mania, they just attack this, because it's 1,500. So this is a quick effect, but you can't use it during your turn. You can only use it during the opponent's turn. Steal and then destroy. Not bad, but because you have to summon it off of, like, Funk Dock. Also, I guess, okay, put a card into the graveyard. I guess this does bring it back from the graveyard. This doesn't. Yeah, this is still probably just a one of. Is it perma-steal or temporary? It's permanent, except it destroys the monster during the end phase. But if you have something that can't be destroyed, then you just get to keep it. And Lambda Cannon. If this card is normal or special summon, target an RB in your graveyard, add it to your hand. While this card is linked, you can pay 1,200, destroy this card, and if you do, look at your opponent's hand. Then special summon one monster to their field, but negate its effects. Funny joke. Yeah, so this is, you know, you look at your opponent's hand, if you see an Ash, you're like, I will summon the Ash to your field in attack mode. Now you can't Ash me. Or you summon Nibiru to their field in defense mode, and they're like, okay, easy peasy. Optional hand rip. Because it doesn't special summon, it's still probably not a 3-of, but that's not super worrisome considering how searchable everything is. Anti-Charmy. It's not anti-Charmy because, as soon as you start playing, like if they have a Perulia, they fire that shit in the draw phase. If they have a Fuelos, they're going to get to it before you can get to a Link. Presumably. Imagine stealing a Dragoon, that would be funny. It's only anti-Charmy if they draw into another Charmy while they have their first one, yeah. I've used it more to just recover cards. I just got destroyed by Danger Dark World. You gotta watch out for that. They'll FTK you in half. Okay, and then we just got the traps. RB Last Stand. Special summon one from your deck, extra deck, or graveyard with a different name from the cards you control. For the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot summon except for machines with 1,500 or less. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets an RB you control, you can banish this card from your graveyard and negate the effect. Alright, not terrible. That does mean you just get, like, the destruction, either the spell trap negate or the monster destruction. They are once per turn. So unfortunately you don't have a lot of disruption, really. It's pretty much just like, destroy a card. I guess you got, and then you can get the steal. You've got destroy a monster, negate a spell trap, steal a monster, and then during your turn, or when they attack, you've got Mirror Force. Super Mirror Force. So this is good. I can't imagine it being like a 3-of, though. It's more than it seems. Having a negate in the graveyard is also very funny. People will forget about that. And a counter trap. When your opponent activates a monster effect while you control any RB monster, destroy a monster you control. If you do, negate the activation, and if you do that, destroy that card, then gain 2,000. Alright. And we search these off of the Shepherd's Crook. Just during the main phase. Gotcha. So probably one of each. There was something that recycled. Was it this? These only recycle the monsters. We have no way to recycle the traps, do we? Yeah, this is I can see the strategy. I can also see why it's not great. It's a lot of bricks and garnets and stuff. Crook returns the traps from the grave. Deck or graveyard. Ah, I see. Although this banishes itself. So this is always, and then like this, I could see maybe playing 2 or even 3. Got to master pretty easily with Phantom Beast Speedroid. Striker and Orchest packages add too many bricks to a deck that already has its own bricks. It also thins out your extra deck. I'm not sure what Phantom or what Striker and Orchest have to do. Crook's first effect. Yeah, it just gets out of the graveyard. First effect is it gains 500. Yeah, so I guess it's just like hand traps and then things to make this as much as possible. They're commonly used to get 2 machines on the field. Interesting. So you wrote the first half of your post was about Phantom Beast Speedroid. And then halfway through, you changed to talk about Arby. Weird. I would have made those 2 separate thoughts. Otherwise, people get confused. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at some other decks to see what. So now we're getting to the part where what we're gonna do, chat, is we're gonna hop onto YouTube and we're gonna do some research. We're going to watch some other people's videos. We're going to see what they came up with. We're going to see if we can find some neat texts, some neat stuff I didn't understand before, and hopefully get a good understanding of how the deck works. If you're watching this on YouTube afterwards, I'm going to cut this part out of the VOD because I don't like re-uploading basically other people's videos with me just like sitting there watching them. So if you want to see me reacting to these videos and stuff like that, consider coming down to stream. Otherwise, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so let's go ahead. Is it this one? Weird. I think this works. Okay. R.B.master duel. For the main combo. Is this the guy? Yeah, this is the guy who's just like, it's like the scam channel. I've talked about him before, but it's worth noting. Let's see, how many videos did this guy put out this week? one an hour ago, one 8 hours ago, another 8 hours ago, 10 hours ago, 10 hours ago, 11, 12, 12 hours ago, 1 day ago. So these 8 videos, oh, you can't even see all of them. Let's see if I can get a better window capture, shall I? There we go. But yeah, these 8 videos were all released today. If you look at 1 day ago, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he does 8 deck lists a day. Can I put a link here for a video? Sure. And most of his videos are, what was it? He doesn't build the decks himself. He just finds them on Duel Live and then just makes a, like, shows off the replay and then shows the deck list off. Is he okay? Yeah. He shows the what was it? He shows off part of the deck list. He makes you pay for the other ones. No, don't play this. I don't want to give him money. Yeah, it's you join to get the full deck list details. To offer memberships, yeah. Sells the deck list that you can get off of Duel Live. This deck is really, really good. Crowley 12, sure. VS K9 end board, Arby breaks it in style. Sure. Cool Tunes can't stop Arby. I disagree. Arby Master Duel deck. Let's try deck instead of replays. Complete intro to Arby. Combos to know in Master Duel. I became an Arby. Really bad or really broken? I guess we'll find out. Everyone is sleeping on Arby. Finally, new budget best deck. Okay. I'll put that one on there since you suggested it. Let's look up, maybe there's some TCG ones. Decayed, nah, I'm fine. Is this the one that... No, it's a different one. Well, I'm not playing popular cards. This is 2 months ago. 4-0 locals? Sure, we'll give you a chance. 4th place regional? Okay. Ritual Beast Mitsurugi? I guess so. What kind of thumbnail is this? Sure, I'll try it. January 20, Dark Arm Duelist. Hey everybody, it's Dark Arm Duelist. Today we're looking at an RB deck profile, brought to you by the thing. Striker RB? Sure. Okay, that's probably more than enough lists. Although we're going to start with the Moha one for the main combo. Oh, these are these all playing in different tabs? I didn't want you to play. I thought I had autoplay turned off. No wonder my computer's slowing down. Gotta go stop all these individually. Okay. put that at the end there. Okay, so we're going to watch these, get an idea of it. Although, while we're doing that, I'm going to start getting dinner ready. I'm going to go ahead and get some, what's it called? I'm just going to get the, why can't I think of the word? The oven. How did I forget the word oven? I'm going to get the oven preheated. Dinner tonight is just biscuits. Biscuits and bacon. It ain't much, but it does the job. Got an idea for the intro skit? I don't even have an idea for the DDD intro skit yet, and I have to record that like tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to go do that. Here's an ad. Enjoy ad. Gravy? No, I hate gravy. I'm no gravy man. Yeah, this does remind me. Little thing here, 1 second. Let me get this loaded up. Someone was posting earlier on Blue Sky, which, by the way, if you don't follow me on Blue Sky, like, I found a whole operation of unmanned YouTube channels making completely unchecked long-form slop videos where the AI voice simulacrum regularly trips up and does this for a full 10 minutes. This is a 2-minute thing, but this is...
Millions of fans are making right now. Can you afford it? Maybe. But do you feel like you have to be there? That's the question. And for a lot of people, the answer this year seems to be, not quite. The show will happen. The stadium will likely fill up one way or another. Like
Man's just trying to eat over here. You hear the robotic voice still trying to do stuff. He's like, this is 2 minutes. He's like, but this is 10 minutes of that. A full 10 minutes. They just don't look. They just don't look at all. Just in the middle of like a 2-hour long video. Not the chewing and slurping sounds. What? How does the AI break that bad? It's the longer it has to do, the more it breaks down. Someone sent it and I like put it in there and I didn't realize it was already on the list. Okay, so we're finally done. I have seen enough deck lists. The question is, chat, what kind of direction are we going to go today? Well, here, actually, let's get rid of this. Let's open up actual Master Duel. What direction do you prefer? Well, it's the question of with RB, since it is a lower powered deck, but since it's like a rogue deck, let's call it a rogue deck, you know? It's not one of the top 10s, it's not the best, but it maybe has potential to get into Master. Does that mean we should try as hard as we can to get into Master this month and start with like a really good version of the deck? Or do we continue doing what we've been doing, where it's like, yeah, getting into Master is nice, but, I mean, this deck can OTK, so why not start with a Go Second version and try that for a stream and see how that is? Why not try the Mitsurugi version and see how that works? Let's do something with, like, a bigger Sky Striker engine to see if that makes it more interesting. Mitsu version, not so much. This is not my currency. Yeah, they have the new tryout duel. 5-card hand versus 6-card hand. A lot of people are like testing for Master Rule 6. Maybe, but I don't know if that's really gonna be it, but I guess we'll see. What's the Millennium selection? Obtain accessories you may have missed. Special offer that bundles 5 master packs with a selection of limited time accessories that appeared in the past. So each of the 5 bundles includes 1 accessory selected at random that you have not previously distributed or sold, or which has been previously distributed or sold, but which you do not yet own. Ah, I see. Request for consent creates a unique product lineup for each player consisting of random accessories. In order to do this, we must identify your purchase history, information about items you own. They will be displayed to players who provide their consent. They do not provide their consent, they will not do that. Oh, so it's like, can we have your buy and sell history? I think that's fine if it's just what accessories did I buy and sell on here. I'm trying to think, is there any way that could really be like used against me? Is there any way, they can't really like sell that information, can they? What if you're a whale and you buy everything? Well, they said, I believe they said if there's not something, they won't offer it to you. Yu-Gi-Oh! Based advertisements, I guess? Possibly. I do like that they're at least asking for it. Oh, yeah, I guess that's fine. You may withdraw your consent at any time. Ah, okay. At least it shows you beforehand, so it's like, you could get the Neos wallpaper. I'm good. You could get that wallpaper. I'm good. Which one is this again? Oh, it's like the deluxe snowman frame. I mean, I guess that could be good for winter stuff. Live twin sleeves. There's already live twin sleeves. And, yeah. I mean, I guess that, again, that would be better. I feel like this would be better for people who didn't buy almost anything. Like, the frame might be worth getting. But the rest of them, like, don't care. The Cool Tune Collector's Bundle. Yeah, I don't think I'll be playing that. The Hero Collector's Bundle. Yeah, I got nothing on mine. Yeah, I imagine, like, because I've played, like, every event. and I've done every duel pass. So like, I don't think there's like hardly anything. There's just like a couple like seasonal ones that I didn't think I would need. Oh, what's in there now that's like limited time? Like the cherry blossom. This is just the forest field with cherry blossoms. I don't care. It's like the Black Rose Dragon base. I'm good. You can get them the Magistus animated. Brute Blues. Well, I guess we pick this up now, chat. Good thing we got it in time. Masterpiece? Yeah, no. And there's already a bunch of elemental hero stuff. Icon, nothing there. Icon frame, yeah, it's just the Black Rose one or the hero one. True King of all calamities or heroes. Which mate will you use for Arby? I guess I could buy the Machina Citadel because Earth Machines. Unless there's something better. Okay. Your feedback is appreciated. Oh, this will open an external. Okay. What is your age? 41 to 49. Oh, 1 second. Okay. Galatea is an option. We will be playing Galatea most likely. How do you identify? Male, female, transgender, non-binary, prefer not to answer, prefer to self-describe. Good thing Konami's at least a little woke. What familiarity? I have played Master Duel. I have played Duel Links. I played the trading card game. I watched the original anime and some GX. I have no familiarity with the Yu-Gi-Oh brand. How did you get here? To the best of your memory, which was your first experience with Yu-Gi-Oh? The original anime. I saw that before I did anything. How much would you rate your overall fandom for the Yu-Gi-Oh universe? Like a 2? Maybe a 3? I'm not really much of a fan about anything. Like, my favorite thing is Wheel of Time, and even that I'd put it at like a 2. 2's being generous. In the last year, have you seen any of the promotions, advertising, or news about the following? The 3rd anniversary tournament? I couldn't tell. Is that the one with the VTubers on it? I heard about the Shadow Duelists. I didn't hear about Baron Bloodthorn, though. Yeah, I remember seeing those. What best describes your feelings? I played in the past. I didn't like it. I currently play. I played in the past. Which of you played in the last 90 days? Master Duel. When did you start playing? Duel Links? It's like 2021 or earlier. When did Master Duel come out? It was like 2022, right? Yeah. How much time have you spent the following in total? Duel Links, like 1 or 2 hours. Master Duel? Let's look this up, shall we? Let's view my profile on Steam. Master Duel is currently sitting at 2,900 hours. That's not too bad considering I do it for a job. Anyone want to guess what's my second most played game? That's more hours than me, yeah. Silksong? Silksong is in third place. Balatro, Jeremy the Great's got it. I have 709 hours in Balatro. Followed by Silksong with 246 hours. But that's because I've not only beaten Silksong on stream, but then I made like a video about it doing like a speedrunner guide, and I had to beat it a few times before I was comfortable doing that. And then I did the guided tour of Farloom with CB Radio, where we went back and I just showed him off everything. Yeah, Balatro, I have 100%ed Balatro. And I've got Nain Imp on a random seed. If you know, you know. My fourth most popular game, you will never have heard of before, chat. It's called PictoPix. What's the Nintendo version of this called? Ah, fuck. I can't remember. Nintendo. It's like it's Picto something. No, not Picto, chat. I forget what it's called. It's that thing where like they give you a grid and there's like the numbers and then you've got to figure out which ones you click on. It's like a puzzle game. If I showed it to you, you would understand it. Picross, thank you, yeah. PictoPix is basically Picross on Steam, but they've got like a million puzzles. There's like a year where I was really, really into Pictocross, or Picross. I have like my Switch is just like 3 copies of Picross and Balatro. Then Into the Breach, which I've also 100%ed. Then Stardew Valley. Then Islanders. Risk of Rain 2, Baldur's Gate, Enter the Gungeon, Opus Magnum. Okay, anyway. How much have I spent in total? I've probably gotten like 100 hours of the trading card game between everything I've done. Joe's played Stardew Valley. Yeah, I had a girlfriend who was really into it and she got me into it. That's one of those games that like starts out fun and then turns into work. And it's like I keep wanting to quit, but I'm like I just got to reach this new milestone and then I'll be satisfied. On a scale of satisfied, how would you rate Duel Links? Not at all. Master Duel is like a solid 5. The trading card game, probably like a 6. See, the thing is, the stuff I don't like about the trading card game is like, I don't like how expensive it is. I don't like that I can't play it wherever I want. I don't like that there's no locals within like an hour's drive of me. Oh, you hate Duel Links? Did something specific happen? I just don't think it's, like, in my eyes, Duel Links is just Yu-Gi-Oh! But worse. Yu-Gi-Oh! But they've cut a bunch of features out. And some people are like, no, it's cool because the games are shorter. I'm like, I don't want shorter games. No, it's cool because the decks are smaller. Like, I don't want smaller decks. I remember, it's like early on, it was like, oh, it's old school style Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm like, okay, I don't like old school style Yu-Gi-Oh! And then as soon as they started adding in enough stuff, like there was no middle ground. Because Duel Links is designed the way it is, it went straight from old school Yu-Gi-Oh! To constant OTKs. Every single thing is 2 turns. I'm glad Duel Links exists. I mean, if you like it, you like it. Don't let me stop you. But to me, it just felt like, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is already a game that suffers from the fact that it wasn't intentionally designed to be like a long-standing game. It wasn't really designed by game designers. It was designed by a guy who created manga. And then other people came in and tried to make it fit into this round, like, square peg into a round hole. And, like, they've made it work. I mean, they've made something that persists. But Duel Links is just taking that another step where they're like, okay, so what if we take a bunch of cards that were designed around having 2 main phases and got rid of a main phase? What if we took a bunch of cards that assumed you would have 5 zones and put it down to 3? And most importantly, what if we took a bunch of cards that were designed around the fact that you would have 8,000 life points and put them in a format with only 4,000 life points? You know, Blue Eyes White Dragon it goes from being something that takes off less than half of your life to something that takes 75% of your life. And that is a huge deal. The fact that you can normal summon something with essentially 4,000 attack points, like, completely and fundamentally changes the game. And that's why burn decks had to be nerfed, why burn decks are always the most powerful thing in there, and why everything in Duel Links is constantly OTKs and FTKs. Because the cards aren't designed to be played in a game with 4,000 life points. Don't forget the skills. Yeah, the skills just trying to do that. And there's something like, you know, Commander from Magic the Gathering. That's a game that wasn't designed. Like they're taking the cards that were designed for a 40 card thing and putting in a 100 card singleton format. Like, yeah, that's not what they're designed for. But by doing that, you make the game slower. You give it more variance. You make it more goofy. If you took Magic and was like, okay, now play Magic with 10 life, with a 20 card deck, like, suddenly everything's gonna be really fast. I don't know how they're like, yeah, we cut everything in half, and that means the games are over in 1 turn instead of 2 turns. And that's not even getting into, like, the awful dog shit monetization. Like, Duel Links is a straight up gacha game. The most broken commanders were designed for Commander. Yeah. But that has less to do with, like, the design team and more to do with the fact that, like, when Magic started making stuff specifically for Commander, that was when, like, Hasbro took over and they were just like, print all the Magic cards. Commander's the most popular format. So every set should have like 20 new commanders, and I want a pre-con deck for all of them, and we need to put out a new set every single month. So, you know, hop to it. And also, make sure you're making decks that are still standard legal, make sure you're making sets that are draftable, make sure that your sets will work in vintage and modern and standard. It was before that. Oh, was it? I thought all of that was like fairly new. I don't know how you play Magic with 20 cards. You have to fill your deck with like at least 8 lands. Yeah, maybe that would be interesting. But the thing is, there's a bunch of like, there are a bunch of, especially in what's it called, Vintage? Vintage is where you can play anything, right? That's like their eternal format. I know in Vintage there's a lot of like, yeah, you play a Chrome Mox for 0, and then you sacrifice it to get 1 mana for this turn, and then you play like a 1-drop that combos with something else that like allows you to like mill half your deck and then play a bunch of cards out of the graveyard for free. And then you just like storm. Like there are ways to combo off if you get a really small deck, even if you don't have a whole lot of mana. That and there's a whole bunch of like lands that are like, you get 2 lands, but then this land is, or not 2 lands, you get 2 mana from this land, but then it's destroyed forever or something like that. And it's like, but yeah, if you're playing a game where nothing is banned and you only have 10 life points to get rid of, it's really easy to just do everything. The mismanagement has been wild to witness. How likely are you to continue playing? Very unlikely, somewhat likely. I guess I could lie and say very likely, but I want to think that I want them to think that they have to earn my trust, and that I'm not a content creator who will make it regardless. Why are you doing a survey? I mean, they asked. Completely change the monetization so that it's free to play friendly. Also, simplify the UI so that a new player isn't bombarded with a million different currencies and events. Also, make it actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban Maxi, add more formats like Genesis, have a second, or have more ladders for different formats. Isn't that just Master Duel? Yes. I don't know, honestly. The biggest hurdle for TCG, personally, is that there's no locals within an hour's drive of me. And I don't think you can fix that. Add best of 3? I'm good. Why do you play video games? I can only choose one. Entertainment, escape and freedom, socialization, a good story, completion and mastery, challenge and mental exercise, to create something original. All of the above. Plus, it's my job to play video games. I'm curious, chat. Are there any of you that, like, you know, maybe if they had phrased this as like, what's the reason you mostly play video games, or what's the main reason? But like, I do all of these, right? Like, if you ask me why I play Commander, or I guess Commander's not a video game. But if you ask me why I play, like, Among Us, it's for the socialization and connecting with others. If you ask me why I play the Walking Dead game, it's, like, to enjoy a good story. Is there anyone here who's like, I only ever play games for a story? I only ever play for entertainment and amusement. If there's something to master or there's challenge, I'm out. By the way, is it actually amazing to play video games for a job, or do you have to spend 1 million hours editing? I mean, it's like anything else, chat, you know? It's like you talk to like a movie reviewer and it's like, isn't it great to be able to watch movies for a living? And it's like, sometimes I don't want to watch movies. Like, it doesn't matter what you do or what you enjoy doing. There's very few times when you want to do that thing all the time, every time. And the second, like, you fall into that thing of, like, I've played so much Yu-Gi-Oh! Can I just play something else? And it's like, no, it's your job. Get to work. Then it's like, ah! And especially if you're in any kind of arts specifically, you're always at the whims of the audience, right? Like, if you're a musician, it is awesome to be able to create music for a living. That's what I would love to do. Except you still have to create music within a market system where you have to find a way to market and sell that music. It's not enough to simply just make it. If you want to survive, you have to make stuff that people are willing to pay for. And then it gets really difficult. Like, if I could just play Yu-Gi-Oh! However I want and be like, yeah, I think Killer Toon looks like fun, I'll play Killer Toon. Like, it would be a lot more enjoyable, but my channel would probably die. Like, you know, not only would it die because people would be less interested, but even if I made good content, one of the biggest income sources I have, and the most consistent one, is the Patreon. And the biggest reason to join the Patreon above the, like, basic tier is to vote on what deck I played. So if I got rid of the ability for people to choose decks, I would lose a shit ton of patrons and a lot of money, and also my channel probably wouldn't do as well because I'd just be using my own judgment instead of relying on what people want to see. And that's how I end up with like a whole month where I have to play Speedroids, even though I don't enjoy Speedroids. And then it's like, what are you complaining about, Joe? You're getting to play video games. It's like, yeah, but imagine if like, maybe not your least favorite, but like, you know, you don't necessarily like a video game, but it's like, but you gotta play that one all month. And you can't half-ass it. You can't just sit there and be like, I'm technically playing it. You have to actually try. Was Speedroid the most unfun month of the series for you? No. I think that still goes for Galaxy Eyes. The original Galaxy Eyes I still have, like, bad memories about. And, what's it called? Cosmo was a close second. It's just Speedroid was the most recent one that was like a slog. Ah, yes, Dota 2 for me. You could just veto an idea if you really don't enjoy. Well, the other thing, like, in the case of Speedroids, right? Like, when I went into Speedroids, I didn't know it would be as much of a slog as it was. I don't have intimate knowledge of the new deck and the combos or whatever. I didn't expect it to be as difficult as it ended up being. Same thing with Galaxy Eyes. I thought Galaxy Eyes would be a lot more powerful, and it ended up not working. I hope Arby isn't as miserable. I don't think it will be. Okay, which of the following platforms do you currently play video games on at least monthly? PC, but excluding Steam. That's it. I guess I play some PC games that aren't, no. Not really. Yep, just Steam. I haven't touched my Switch in like 2 months. Do you currently play the most? The one that I play. Okay, you own one system, but which one of those ones do you play the most? What's your favorite video game genre? Probably puzzle. Is puzzle on here? Action adventure, battle royale, digital card games, fighting or wrestling, first-person shooter, MMO, MOBA, dance and music, role-playing, simulation, strategy. They don't have puzzles on here. I guess card games, because I like Inscription too, and I do play the most of these. But like we just went over like my top five, right? It's like Balatro, which is not on here. I guess Silk Song would be action adventure. Picto Pix, which is a puzzle game. Into the Breach, which is like a turn-based puzzle game. Stardew Valley, which is like a casual farming simulator. Islanders is a puzzle game. Risk of Rain 2 is a roguelike. I guess technically a third-person shooter. Baldur's Gate is an RPG. Enter the Gungeon is a roguelike. Opus Magnum is a puzzle game. What is the point of the newest Duel trial? Just to give Going Second a better chance. Yeah, I guess digital card games. Which Konami franchises are you a fan of? The Adventures of Bayou Billy? That's a franchise? I thought they just made one game. I didn't know. Is Konami making more Bayou Billy merch? Who the fuck is Bayou Billy? It's like an old Nintendo, like, NES game. I thought they just made one of them. But yeah, fan of, like, I don't think I've played, I mean, I do like Dance Dance Revolution. Frogger? Who said I love Frogger? Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill, like, I really liked the first Metal Gear Solid and Sons of Liberty. I didn't have a PS3 or 4, so I didn't play the other ones. Silent Hill looks neat, but I've never played any of them. Which are your least favorite? Select one. Oh, I've got to decide one that I hate the most. I wonder what are they going to use this information for? Among Us, Angry Birds, Animal Crossing, Assassin's Creed, Battlefield, Borderland, Call of Duty, Destiny, Diablo, Elden Ring, Final Fantasy, Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto, Halo, Kingdom Hearts, The Legend of Zelda, Mega Man, Minecraft, Monster Hunter, Mortal Kombat, Overwatch, Pac-Man, Red Dead Redemption, Roblox, Street Fighter, Super Mario Bros., Sonic, StarCraft, The Sims, The Witcher, Tomb Raider, Valorant, Warcraft, none of the above. Oh, is your favorite? Ah, okay. How did I get least favorite? Okay, I'm trying to think. To be fair, which ones of these have I played? I've played Among Us. I've played Minecraft. I guess I like Minecraft. I've played more of that than I've played the rest of these. Haven't played an Assassin's Creed yet. Borderlands 2 is alright, and that's about it. Haven't played Roblox or Destiny or Street Fighter. I've played Diablo 2 a bunch. Super Mario's fine. Sonic's fine. I haven't played Elden Ring, Final Fantasy, StarCraft, Fortnite. I've played The Sims, but it's like mediocre at best. GTA. I played Vice City. Anyone remember Vice City? Halo I like. Yeah, I guess Minecraft's my favorite of the bunch. Which of the following games have you played in the last 90 days? RuneScape, Rust, GTA, Arc Raiders, Guilty, Starfield, Honkai, Blue Archive, The Finals, Lethal Company, Maple Story, Tears of the Kingdom, Rainbow Six. The last 90 days. That's 3 months? Yeah, I haven't played Minecraft in the last 3 months. Deadlock, Pretty Derby, Valorant, RuneScape, Destiny, Dota, Overwatch, Pow World, Escape from Tarkov. None of the above. Where's Silksong? Yeah, Silksong's not on here. When not playing Yu-Gi-Oh games, what is the one game you play? What was it we were just looking at? Picross? Oh. Balatro. Which of the following have you played in the last 90 days? Balatro! Hearthstone, Runeterra, I've played Magic the Gathering, TCG, Shadowverse, Slay the Spires 1 and 2, Master Duel. Please rank the games of the ones you find interesting with the most interest on top. I guess arena is above most things. People keep telling me to play Slay the Spire. So that's probably above that. I didn't like Slay the Spire 1. Yeah, I still find Master Duel more interesting. I'm not really interested in Arena. I'm just interested in, like, Magic generally. I've never heard of Runeterra. I've never heard of Runeterra, but Pokemon TCG seems worse than that. And Duel Links is worse than that. I'll put the early days collection above this, because like one or two of those. I'll put Teamfight Tactics, because I've really never heard of that. Slay the Spire, I just like don't really like. This I've also never heard of. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's... Nah, I'd rather play Slay the Spire than Snap. This at least seems kind of interesting. And then it's like 3 things I've never heard of and 3 things I actively hate. It's auto chess? Ah, I see. How do you learn about video games? Probably content creators. YouTube. Discord. Blue Sky. Where do you live? Wouldn't you like to know? Uganda. Somewhere in the United States. Your own words, how would you describe Master Duel? Fundamentally broken. The game designers don't understand balance. If they ever fix the ban list and ban Max C, it would be a #1 game. But they don't. You think Konami? Someone has, I'm sure. How would you describe Master Duel to a friend who wasn't familiar with? It's broken. The game designers don't understand balance. If they fixed the ban list and ban Max C, it would be a #1 game. But they don't, so don't bother. Just play Magic the Gathering or Pokemon. Maybe that'll get their fucking attention! Which of the images do you find appealing? I don't know. I kind of like Dark Magician. Dark Magician looks neat, I suppose. I like Jinzo. I think people with faces are neat, but his face kind of stink. I almost want to put Dark Magician Girl above Jinzo, but I don't want them to think I like Dark Magician, because I don't. Yeah, I think the original Blue Eyes art is dumb. I hate that art. Which of the following do you find most appealing? Which waifu do you enjoy the most? I don't know, they're all kind of mid. What was the specific question? Which image do you find the most appealing? I do like the big swords, I suppose. There's something about, like, the regalness of this. This is a bit over-designed, but at least it's interesting. Yeah, I guess that's fine. And then Rey, like, maybe if they had the art of Rey where she's, like, running through the battlefield with the sword behind her back, that would be at the top. But this Rey always just struck me as she's like, hey, watch out. Like, no expression. Weird pose. She's just like, I got a sword. T-posing Rey, yeah. The Azuna to the top. I don't know. I don't really like the cop aesthetic. I mean, the gun's kind of cool. Like, none of these are really, like, my taste, though. Oh, here we go. Okay, Big Gabonga's number 1. Then the Pumpkin. Then Bigfoot. Then the big weird guy. Then Totally Awesome. Now we're talking. The Toad's just kind of boring. It's iconic, but it's not really my style. Okay, Overraptor. Zeus. Why'd they pick that art of Zeus? Typhon. Fossil Dyna. Huh. 3 dinosaurs and 2 robots. I guess this Zeus art is the most... I mean, I like robots more than dinosaurs. And I like skeletons more than, like, non-skeletons. And Soul Eating looks kind of weird. I never liked the angle that this was shot from. Dyna is last out of principle. It's just the images. I don't know, I kind of like Typhon more than this art. I wish they used the original Zeus art. Yeah, because it's less busy. Next it will be Ninjas and Pirates. Which one image do you find the most appealing? Probably Typhon. I'm always a sucker for, like, I like really angular designs. I like rocks, you know? That's why the Cristrons appeal to me. Cristrons and Gemnites. Those are, like, the art style that appeals to me. Like, for the most part, I'm not really a stickler for art, but one of the few arts I like is something that's, like, really angular and blocky looking. And granted, Typhon's not like that, but at least it's kind of a robot. It's the closest we're gonna get. Wow, this is so long. I didn't know this would be so long. How would you best describe Master Duel? The digital card game you've been waiting for. The definitive edition of the competitive card game. You can now play the TCG digitally anywhere. Fast-paced duels with stunning HD graphics and a new dynamic soundtrack. Get ready to challenge duelists around the world. The full Yu-Gi-Oh! Experience is available for anyone at any skill level. I mean, this is probably true, because I've been waiting for something like this, except it's not, because it's not what I wanted. It's not the definitive competitive game. It's not the TCG. Like, this is probably the it's got stunning graphics and a dynamic soundtrack. But it's definitely not available to any skill level. Like, that's the one thing you can say they nailed is, like, the aesthetic parts. The one thing that motivates you to return to playing Master Duel. Updates to the limited forbidden list. What do you most love about Yu-Gi-Oh? A good back and forth game that isn't decided in the first few seconds by lingering cards like Max C and Droll. You know, like Max C. Droll is lame too. It's more yeah. Is that, do I get anything? I thought I would get something. Well, you know what? You gotta make your feedback known somehow, chat. If you have a chance, fill it out. Tell them to ban Max C. You could bullshit the rest of it, but just let them know. Ban Max C. Okay. So, let's see. We can delete this version of the deck. We can delete this version of the deck. Do we need Gold Pride? Probably not. Okay. Let's see what I actually have in terms of the Arby cards. Nothing. So, 15 cards to start out with. We play something else later. So, originally I was planning to play something else later. We do have a Patreon request for a game called Carrion, which I was going to play. Unfortunately, because I got hit with the power outages yesterday, I'm way behind on my editing. I wanted to get the Let's Learn out by tomorrow, and I was supposed to edit it yesterday. So, to make sure I'm not up till 5 a.m. editing, trying to get it out tomorrow, I'm going to be ending stream a little early. So no Carrion today, but we'll probably get to it on Thursday. What was the Let's Learn about? Regenesis. What's it called? I'm gonna try 3 Perulia. I feel like that's better in this format. Maybe time will tell. A lot of people are playing Droplet. And then I think to start with, we got the Clockwork Knight. We'll play a Clockwork Knight. Raiden, thank you for the 48 months. Put on a Regulus. Oh, Lion. Warrior's been carrying my masochist account, somehow pulled too. Nice. Did you see the Odeon RB deck that won regionals? I did not. Let's see. We're going to do this, and we're going to do... I think we're going to start with the Mecha Phantom Beast engine. 3 O-Lion, 3 that. What was the other? Oh yeah, I need Barricade Borg. They're on set rotation. Funny joke. Camellia is very important, even in this version. Because we're not playing the rest of the Sky Striker engine in this version. Where was that at? Oh yeah, they are still playing it. Okay. Still play the 1 Hornet drones. We get a Kagari. I think we play this Kagari. We need a Camellia. We need one of these, right? And something that points down, either a Hayate. Yeah. Hornet drones being banned soon? Possibly. Yeah, I mean, this does have the potential for game. And we'll put a spot in there. And we'll do one of those. Okay, so this is the beta version. Link blue, link blue. Gear Town? Probably Gear Town, right? There's no, like, musical thing. Unless we want to go with the football stadium. And just be like, they're performing live on the stage! Is there a dock? There's not. Funk Doc? Doc, you woke up the dead with that blast. limiter removal, just to make them think. Arby suits well with the football. A lot of bands play in, like, stadiums. Galatea, sure. Okay. If we're gonna go second, we don't need the traps. Yeah. This one comes back. What's it called? What's another? I guess we could play, the Sky Striker stuff is good going second. Yeah, we could do that. Super Poly, now we don't have enough room. We still need more starters, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the... Add one gore, smiley face. No need for cannon. Which one is cannon? It still adds back to hand. Yeah, I guess we can. Yeah, and I guess we take this out, and I guess we don't need this. Yeah, at least for now. And then Arby best. RBS. Rose and the other striker stuff. Ultimate Slayer, we'd have to like mess around with the extra deck. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's necessarily the best version. Well, we have time to figure it out. Take out the Tether Wolf. I thought the Tether Wolf was better because it didn't play into the Charmies as well. Either way, I think we've got pretty good. We got a starting list. We're gonna start with this beta version. Would I be able to craft everything here if I wanted to? No, I don't have enough URs, but I'm close. I'm very close. Harp with gear suit. We'll see. But yeah, like I said, today's stream's gonna be a little short, but on Thursday we'll be back to the 6-hour streams. Thursday, I'm going to be crafting this, like opening the packs. I'll be building it on Master Duel, and then I'll be testing it out, which means if you want to duel me, Thursday will be the stream to do it. As always, patrons get first crack if they want to duel me, but it will be open to everyone, so once the patrons have had their chance to duel, anyone else who wants to duel will be able to. Also, if you just want to like hang out with me in general, the Patreon hangout is this weekend, this Saturday. We'll be doing the Patreon hangout. That's anyone who is on the Patreon at a $2 level. You can join in the Discord. I'll be live for like 6 hours. We'll be playing, what was it? We're going to try some Commander. There's a new like dueling book, but for Commander, like a browser-based Magic the Gathering simulator where you can just get everything for free. So we're gonna try that and see how that works. There, I've already got a thread up on the Discord for anyone who's interested in learning about what kind of bracket we're gonna be playing into or whatever. And then after that, we'll probably be doing some Jackbox. We'll probably be doing some Broken Picture Phone, which is like a little party game. Depending on how far behind, I might do some. I might do an editing stream where I edit on stream to try to catch up on everything that I missed. That sounds like it would take 4 hours, possibly. So, you know, chance to duel me in Master Duel against the new RB deck on Thursday. Chance to duel me in Commander, or at least watch some Commander if you've never seen it before, on Saturday. If you're curious about the Hangouts but haven't shown up, I usually stream on those on YouTube. So keep an eye on the YouTube streams. Those might show up. Is O-Line in the Legacy packs. So is Outer Wilds done? Yeah. If you missed it, I finished Outer Wilds. If so, we might open some Arby's gift cards. Perhaps indeed. Oh, and Friday, we're gonna be playing. I'm gonna be devoting. What was it? CB Radio is coming over. I've been showing him The Amazing Digital Circus because I want to go see the final episode in movie theaters. And CB is like a big movie enjoyer who's always trying to get me to go to the movies. And most movies out I don't care about. So I'm like, we could finally go and watch the movies. But first, you must catch up on the series. So we've been doing like a react where we watch that. If you haven't seen the show yet and you're curious what all the hype is about, we'll be watching episodes 4, 5, and 6 this Friday. And then afterwards, I'll be playing more Carrion, assuming I don't beat it on Thursday. I don't think it's that short. But I'll be doing that. So we got stuff on Thursday, stuff on Friday. Sunday will be the filler in the jank episode. More information about that. It's like a theater in here, yeah. For now, I'm gonna get going.